We aren't often able to figure out our original nature because there is so much shame that can get attached to who you are originally as a person. And if you are a contrarian thinker like me, then you are definitely going to find yourself, misfit, misunderstood, and all of that, especially in the earlier stages of your life. And that can be emotionally a very difficult situation to be into. It can be mentally a very exhausting situation to be into. But being somebody who has a very unconventional way of thinking, or whose choices in life have not been very, very conventional, today's episode of Unlearn and Relearn, I'm going to share my journey of finding myself. So, my journey of self discovery, my journey of identifying who I am at my core, and how I am evolving, because this is a constant evolution that keeps on happening. So, as a child, as far as I remember, I did not like authority over me. I did not like people commanding on me or just telling me what to do without giving me a proper logic of why it is supposed to be done like that. Okay, so I was very small and I remember there was some puja going on, not even at our home. And the Panditji said that, why are you not putting a bindi on? And I said that, why should I put a bindi? And he said, because sanskari girls do that. And I said, what is sanskar? And he said, value education. And I said, in our value education books in our school, they said that kindness and honesty and all of these are values, and I practice these values. So I am a person who has moral values, okay? And I would say that as a child. Okay, now imagine it is a Panditji who's respected by the whole society, and a child is saying that, okay? So definitely I walked in the world offending authorities all the time, okay? So I found that to be my natural way. I didn't know that this is not the right thing to do according to other people, okay? So as I grew up, I started to get more and more challenges because of this kind of nature. And what I also saw, becoming a young adult, that this makes me look very different from the crowd. Okay, I'm not able to fit into the crowd. I come off as a very different person. And that also kind of brought a lot of shame to me, because, for example, my mother would come, leave me in the hostel when I just moved out of my hometown for my college. And all the mothers and daughters were crying. Most of the daughters, they cried. It's not that I did not feel sad, but I was also very excited to leave my hometown and explore the world. So I would stand in my truth. Like, my mother knows that she wanted to leave the city, and she wanted to explore her life, and I was okay with it. My mother was okay with it. She was feeling bad, she was crying, and I'm somebody who had the tendency to suppress her emotions a lot. So I didn't cry in front of her, and I didn't even cry for a few more months, until the time I felt homesick. Okay, till that time I did not cry. So these places where, I would just lead with whatever I am feeling originally in that moment, were very different from how other people were. And for most of the time, I did not feel afraid to stand in my own truth. But when I saw that because of this, I am facing a lot of rejection, I am being misunderstood by people, okay, and I am offending authorities, there is something wrong with me. This is something that, I thought in my mind, and I started to sort of, people please, adjust. I thought, if I become a shapeshifter and I start to act in a sweeter way, I am going to be happier, or authorities are going to be happier around me or pleased with me. And by the way, I have always been very hardworking. This is a thing that, it is very evident when it comes to the interest that I have, okay, social activities. So people say that, if you are in an academics, if you're good in academics, you should not be focusing so much on your extracurriculars. And I was somebody who was always focused more on the extracurriculars. So even today, I stand in the truth that because of my extracurricular activities, I have built this career up. So this is what would happen. The convention would say something and I wanted to do something else. And because I was walking on that path, these feelings were constant. The feelings of being misunderstood, not being a fit into people, or, being someone who comes off as very blunt. All of these things used to happen, and also a lot of loneliness, because I'm not trying to impress people. And when I tried to impress people, it's not that I stopped feeling lonely, because I had disconnected with who I am truly as a person. So this changed the moment I accepted that IT career is not going to make me happy, or whatever exams that I'm going to give CAT, this, that, whatever convention that I'm trying to follow is not going to make me happy. And again, this decision is going to offend authorities, but let me choose myself back again. And I started walking that path, and it's not that just in one day I figured everything out. It was a long duration of time. I think from that day to today that I'm making this video, it's been like a 4 years long journey. And in this journey, what I understood is that even if I have to walk that path, sort of feeling misunderstood or lonely or whatever for a few years, after a while, you find people who resonate with you, no matter how unconventional you are. So you are not lonely for your whole life. For example, I found a very huge community of people who understand my work, who appreciate my work, and who get a lot of benefit because of my work. And because I embraced my individuality and uniqueness, they were also getting a permission to embrace their individuality and uniqueness. And in this journey, I was very evident about one thing: I don't like to be commanded or just told what to do. Okay? And that also brought in a lot of shame. Oh, you are a person who is not going to listen to adults. You are a person who knows more than your adults, like that. But the intention behind this thing that I have, that I don't, just take orders, is that I want to explore my own power. And this is not a wrong request of an adult who is trying to become an adult, of an young adult who's trying to become an adult in the world. So this is not a wrong request. Okay, so I had to maintain that balance. Okay, where do I want to actually take the inputs of authorities? Okay, where do I really want to be obedient, and where do I not want to be obedient? And this is one of the reasons why I prefer entrepreneurship, I prefer startups, I prefer building your own business rather than working under somebody else, because that always felt like a suppression of who I am at my core. Now, that doesn't mean that never I am going to listen to anybody who's elder than me, or who is at an authoritative position, or who is an expert. I listen to them. But I keep the power of decision making in my hands as I listen to them. And the moment I stopped feeling ashamed for wanting to connect back to my power and not just take orders, that is the moment my actual growth started. Okay, so I went back to becoming that Rutuja who does not need the world's validation. And I am in a much happier place at the moment, because I'm not negotiating who I am as a person to impress you. Okay, you can like this video, you can not like this video, and I'm going to still keep expressing what do I stand for. And this skill of actually contrarian thinking, when I see it was not present in people very evidently around me, I found very rare of them who had contrarian thinking. But as I started to study biographies of people who were really successful, as I started to, read about them, I started to watch their talks and suggestions, I saw the pattern of contrarian thinking. They were also very different from the crowd. They were also misunderstood. They were also lonely. They also followed that path till they found the people who supported them. And I said, dude, I have a skill that people want to have to become successful. I have the traits, I have the strength in myself that people want to build in themselves. So why don't I just accept and move in the world without seeking validation? So I like to consult authorities now. I'm not rebelling without a cause, which I also was in my teenage. Most of the time, I would look like a rebel without a cause. But yeah, sometimes I had a cause, sometimes I didn't have a cause. But today, if I rebel, I have a cause. Okay, for example, I rebel against a lot of norms that are very restrictive on women, on gender and all of that. So this is called as understanding yourself. This is called as understanding what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what your values are. And the acceptance of this gives you immense, immense power. And this also helped me to become a freer person. Okay, because I am somebody who likes to, open up to new horizons. Okay, I am a person who has a huge hunger for good knowledge, for good information. And if I would stay in that mentality of wanting to please, or wanting to fit in, wanting to act like I know everything in the world, I would not enter the most intimidating rooms where people were smarter than me. I enter these rooms, and even if I'm the dumbest person in the room, I accept that I don't know a lot of things and I learn those things from them. And then I utilize it in much better ways. So if I am smartest in the room, I know that I am in the wrong room. So I keep changing. I give myself bigger and better opportunities. And some people say that this kind of change is something, that makes you a very confused personality. But no, this is actually what is called as growth. Okay, so I like to expand myself to new horizons, and that actually satisfies my intellectual appetite that I have for philosophies, that I have for different kind of education, different kind of skills. And when I accept this about myself, it puts me in a much better place to take decisions for myself without really seeking a lot of validation. This helps me to channelize my creativity. Okay, the process of self discovery and the process of self acceptance is just like finding the rhythm of the song, and not listening to the noise that actually gets mixed with that rhythm in between. So if you are somebody who had these kind of struggles with your identity, always there is help available. You can go to the description, you can book a clarity call with me, and we'll get you back connected to your inner power and inner authority.